Queen of Hearts, why Princess Diana was so well-loved. Most people believe that she was a thickie, talentless airheaded bimbo who liked boy bands and pretty much nothing else. Below are my reasons for debunking those myths. While she was certainly not academically gifted, her siblings were, and they teased her mercilessly. They told her she was thick throughout a very unhappy and unstable childhood. She was also aware that her very birth was a huge disappointment to her family. The fourth of 5 children, Diana was a rainbow baby. She followed 2 elder sisters, and then a brother, John, who was born with severe disabilities and died very soon after. Her father was a Viscount, her grandfather an Earl. The Althorp Estate depended on a male heir. Diana's father was one such heir, but he needed to produce an heir of his own. A dead son and a third daughter was nothing to be celebrated in 1960s British aristocracy. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please do well to hit the subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell so as not to miss out on any news update. She was a gifted pianist who was said to have played daily. She shared this talent with her aunt by marriage, Princess Margaret. The two were neighbors at Kensington Palace and formed a close and long-lasting friendship. She loved the theater and ballet. She would have loved to have been a ballerina, but she grew too tall. She was the same height as Charles. She danced with John Travolta in the White House and also joined Wayne Sleep on stage as a surprise for her husband who was in the audience. While she may well have had a fondness for pop music, like all girls of her age, she had a genuine love of classical music. This probably stemmed from her piano lessons, which tend not to include Take That songs. She was an amazingly hard-working Princess of Wales. Whatever her personal circumstances, she always did her job, and she did it very professionally. She was always there. She was always on time or early. She always looked her best. She read copious briefs before each visit, so that by the time she arrived she knew everyone's names, who they were, what they did, etc. And she always smiled. She would go out of her way to match her outfits to the occasion. She made herself tremendously knowledgeable about the dreariest of duties without ever looking bored or out of her depth. The last joint foreign visit to Seoul was the exception, with both Charles and Diana being unable to even attempt any pretense of interest in their duties or each other. She was a genuinely instinctive person. She could communicate at any level, from the humblest homeless, living in cardboard cities on freezing streets, to Henry Kissinger and Mother Teresa. Love her or loathe her, there is no denying that Diana was a groundbreaking trailblazer. She was the first royal to be photographed shaking her bare hand with that of an equally barehanded AIDS patient at a clinic in London. It speaks volumes that while the patient asked to be photographed from behind, so as not to be recognized, Diana is facing the lens, looking at the patient, shaking his hand with a grasp that told the world it's okay, AIDS is not contagious. That single photo went around the globe like nothing before it, at a time when HIV and AIDS were still largely viewed as the gay plague. She totally blew that out of the water. Ditto for landmines. Following visits to countries still littered with anti-personnel landmines, Diana arrived in Bosnia and Angola determined to make a difference. In the plainest white blouse and beige trousers, she donned a Halo Trust protective vest and head shield, then walked through a site that was in the process of being cleared of old, unexploded mines that were the legacy of years of war. She sat with limbless children and she comforted the grieving mother of a young man killed by stepping on a mine. Weeks later she was dead herself, but not before she had got the message across. Diana did not discriminate between rich and poor, black and white, the healthy and the dying, the proud and the humble. She had an almost unique ability to connect with everyone, and her main aim in life was simply to make a difference. She was just 19 years old when she became engaged to the most eligible bachelor in the world. At 20 she was married. She was HRH the Princess of Wales and she was pregnant. Pretty much everything she learned she taught herself as she went. She had no training in precious little advice. Her marriage was never a partnership or a team, which was always a great sadness for everyone. It made both her and Charles deeply unhappy and it robbed the public of a terrific double act. In the early years, they had worked so well together. He had the royal blood, she had the looks and the personality. They were untouchable. Royals don't come any harder working than Diana, and she did make a difference. I see it every time I look at Prince Harry. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave comments and to like and subscribe. Thank you.